Thank you so much for coming, Jen.
Of course.
Giving me the opportunity to coach you. As you know, my name is Peace, and we are here to kind of discuss whatever need that you may have.
Okay.
Okay. So start now. What do you want to achieve out of this coaching session with me?
So I have recently had a reorganization within our region. We have 6 supervisors and 68 employees report through all of us, and we did a reorg. So I'd like to kind of have a little bit more strategy around how I'm handling the new employees that I have based on that reorg.
Okay. And so based on the rework, I know you said you gained some other people that have to report to you, right?
Yes. So I lost 5 employees that I've had. 3 of them I've had for 5.5 years, and 2 of them I've had for a year or less. And then I gained 4 employees, and 3 of them I gained because we wanted to be strategic about who was reporting to him. So some of my employees went to someone else for them to have operational experience based on other supervisors' expertise. And then some employees came to me for leadership development so that I can groom them to be a peer leader or to be a foreman.
Okay. And I'm just going to be taking notes as we
Yeah,
talk.
definitely.
Okay? So, in looking at what you do have, or the new employees that you have under you, what can we work on now that would make the biggest difference for you with the different groups of employees you have?
So I think the biggest thing for me would be to kind of outline what next steps I want to have for those employees so that I can be strategic in helping them grow but not taking full ownership for that. I want them to be accountable for their growth, and how do I give them opportunities to move forward that are tangible for them. And then I have another group of employees that I've had for a year or less, some of them only a few months, and I feel like based on the timing of when each of them came in that I haven't been as thorough in making sure that I covered all the things that I usually cover with new employees to make sure that they understand the correct processes, performance management, career progression, and just understanding kind of their ownership and the culture within the organization.
Okay, so wow. So help me understand. I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. Right now, where you are, you've gained new employees that you are trying to develop them as leaders.
Right.
Then you have the other employees that you are basically managing as far as providing the services that the company is going to provide.
Right.
And these employees are kind of new to you as well. So, and you've had them for about a year.
So they've all come in staggered. We have what's called an apprentice pool. And so they come in, they go through 3 weeks of in-class training, then we do on-the-job training where they ride with subject matter experts in 3 different disciplines, and then they all of a sudden report to me. And so there's not a whole lot of structure in understanding what they know from training, what they learned from the subject matter experts that they rode with for 8 to 9 weeks. And so I like to make sure that I know that they know all these different things, and because they came in staggered during a very busy part of our year, I don't know, most of them have been 3 months or less reporting to me. And so just making sure that I am very strategic in, I don't want to overload them with papers upon papers where they don't get anything more out of it, but making sure that I have a good rapport with them. I've made sure of that, but just making sure that I'm covering all those bases with them.
Wow.
So yes, 2 separate buckets of employees with that.
So you're wearing many hats.
Yeah.
And basically now defining what is priority for you. Is priority the leaders that you have gained under your belt and under your watch to get them to their next level? Is the priority the current employees that you have, or both? And
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So they're both a pretty equal priority. I think that it's more important for me to understand where I want to go with my new employees from a leadership development. And so just kind of getting on the front end of what's my plan with them. I know I want to send them out an email saying, hey, I'm here for your development, which they already know because we had year-end reviews together with their previous supervisor and myself, so that it would be a smoother transition. But just making sure that, hey, we follow through on what I said of, hey, tell me the top 3 things you're interested in, and then kind of myself outlining what areas I think we need to go over in the next year. What's my plan for the next year, theoretically, for them, just on a general basis.
Okay, that's good. So looking at the new leaders that you have acquired, have you actually developed other leaders, and what works for you if you have?
I have been very fortunate to be able to develop and coach a lot of high performers. I've actually had a dozen employees that have been promoted under the 5 years that I've been a supervisor, and then 3 of those have become foremen during my time and have been very successful. One of them, he's been a foreman now for a year, and he just jumped in, took initiative, and this was an individual when I became a supervisor. He was fine being under the radar, didn't want to talk, and now it's just amazing to see what someone can do when you show them that they have potential and they can do more, and help them understand what more is and how to get there. So one of the things that's worked really well is I developed scenarios for them, and I would just hand them a scenario, and I didn't make them up. They were scenarios that people called and asked questions, and so decision making, judgment calls, in that foreman role, they are a subject matter expert. That's part of our leadership team. Even though they don't have any direct reports, they support all 68 of our field employees. And so that's worked really well, and just having them walk through and work with decision making and helping them have awareness about what it means to be a leader and steps they can take has been very helpful.
That's great. So developing 5 leaders already and seeing them grow and doing something. So during that time, were you also juggling new employees like you have now, and how did that process work for you while you were developing your 5 leaders and juggling the new employees? New employees, I guess.
So I didn't have quite as many new employees come in quite as quickly in the past, and I also wasn't on as many project teams as I'm on now that include cross-functional teams from a CrossMet organization. So that's a bit different, but the biggest thing for me is having some structure in place so that they can be, with both categories of employees, I kind of have a plan and I can work the plan. And that works a lot better for me instead of feeling like I'm just going by the edge of the seat of my pants and maybe they're not getting the best from me that they could to support them in their growth. And so I think if I have a plan, I will feel a lot more in control of the situation.
Okay. So you mentioned one of the strategies you want to use, sending out an email with the new employees that you have acquired. So when do you think you'll be able to send out that email, which opens up that dialogue of communication to kind of get figure out what you need to get to them and what they need?
I think within the next week and a half, I'm in training for the next 4 days, so it'll come on my laptop.
Okay.
So it'll probably be in about a week and a half will be doable for me to get that email out, and probably within 2 weeks I should be able to kind of get that sketched out of at least a high level of what I want to go over with them in the next year, so that I feel like I have a plan to start tackling each of those.
Okay. So in developing the leaders, I know one thing you mentioned was figuring out the areas, the process, or the strategy that you would use to develop these leaders.
Right.
So have you thought about those strategies even?
So some of them I'll be able to use what I've already developed, which is some of the decision making, some of the job aids that help with their computer skills. So for some individuals, that's just a weakness. They don't have any opportunity in the work that they do now to use Excel, PowerPoint, Word, or Outlook at much of an in-depth level. And so for them, just having that confidence, there's several things that I've developed that can help those individuals if that's a need for them. Now, don't know how much of a need will be. We might get more in depth in job aids I've already created, but I have some Excel resources that I've used with other people that we can help from that perspective. So there's some things that I'll already be able to utilize, and some of it will just be hands-on. Let me show you this software that we use, just so you have exposure from a big picture approach in thinking about leadership, because with the work they do right now, they work a route that they have a very small vision sometimes, and so just giving them more opportunity into the business.
Okay, and you mentioned also training other I guess staffers.
Yeah.
And do you also have a strategy? Did you have a strategy in place that you use to train those staffers while you're training those leaders?
I have a few things that I always go over when everyone comes in, but I think we've had some new things that I probably need to add to that list. So I was going to do a use policy. There's several of those policy type things and career development, and so just making sure that I follow through with each of those individuals, since I came in at such a busy, randomized time with everything.
Okay, so that's really good, knowing that you have already strategies in place that you use with the other workers or the other people that you train. So, and then having to add newer procedures and newer protocols to those strategies. How willing how much are you willing to do this? And at the same time, what is the time frame you give into yourself to put all this writing in place and to send it out to your team?
So I think that I'm very willing to do it. It will make my life easier and less concern about whether or not I am supporting my employees well. So I feel that I really want to get that done within the next 3 weeks to a month of at least having everything documented and kind of setting up timelines and making sure that I have all the material to share with them. And some of that for the leadership piece, I will be a lot more lenient on myself as we go through each phase of developing that. Once I get feedback from them, I don't want to develop training without knowing from them and having a dialogue in our monthly one-on-ones about where you want to go and what do you think your gaps are, and getting a little bit more information so I can have it individualized, even if there's some things that I can have a little bit more standardized.
Oh, that's great. You said you already have monthly one-on-ones.
Yes.
And this is something that you do regularly with your employees?
I do. So we have a template that we use that goes over each of our company's competencies. So we talk about business acumen, functional expertise, driving the results, and engagement. And then for each of those, they understand what actions we're looking at and what behaviors. And so we talk about what they did well. We talk about it in the opportunities for growth. Some of that might just be something that, hey, here's a best practice I heard about, consider seeing if that works in your plan, and then just sometimes sharing information that's good to make sure that all employees are on the same page about maybe some new process that came out, or just a good reminder about how things are going.
Good. It looks like you actually involve your leadership, or the employees that you're developing for leadership, you let them be a part of that process as well.
Yeah, I think it really helps them tremendously, and I even do it from my brand new employees all the way up through, because it starts that rapport where they know that I'm available, and I try to make sure that you build that, and as you show that you care about them and that you care about your growth, I think you get a lot more out of the relationship and the productivity long term too.
That's great. So I actually see like 3 different strategies that you have in place, and one is meeting with your employees one-on-one.
Yes.
And the other one is sending them an email, and that's something that you mentioned that you will do after your training.
Yes.
So you will actually send out that first communication through the email to kind of strategize with them and including a meeting, if I'm understanding well.
Correct.
And then before you have that one-on-one meeting with them to really put down the process of their training, and seeing what they want also to be a part of their training process.
Yes.
And then also developing your manual or your leadership strategies or structure that you already have in place, but adding more to it. So you have a lot
Yeah.
that you wanted to do, and that's great, and that is great. So, and with the timeline that you want to send that email out right after the training,
Yes.
with that communication, and then developing your plan and the structured training plan, and adding the new protocol to that, giving yourself, you said, I think 3 weeks to a month.
I think that's doable.
Yeah, wow. Well, you got your work cut out for you. But you've done a lot. You've seen success. So I'm so very hopeful that you're going to see success with the new employees and the new additions that you have.
Thanks. I'm excited about the opportunity.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, then,
Yeah.
how committed are you willing to this goal?
Oh, I would say I'm a 10. I just really need to have this implemented for peace of mind and kind of moving forward in a positive way. I think if I don't do it, that I will incur more stress out of feeling like I'm not supporting those employees as well as I can, and so I'm very committed.
Okay. Well, I want to also ask, do you think you need some help from maybe outside or your other peers and assisting you with the project that you have on hand?
No, that won't. There's a reason why everything's been moved the way it has been, and so I feel comfortable with my plan and getting that into place.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think you have a great plan. I believe you just follow that plan. It's going to work. Well,
Yeah.
you've done it before, so you can do it again. It's just different people coming in,
Right.
and the communication, the open communication that you have with your employees, that is awesome, and letting them know what you're there for, what you're going to do for them.
Right.
So that is actually great.
Thanks.
So,
Appreciate that feedback.
yeah, it's great. So I think if anyone in leadership would take that opportunity to have that open communication and make them a part of that growing process within the company, they won't only have loyalty, but they have some stability and they have a lot of loyalty within the company. That's great.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Jen, for coming.
Of course.
If I can do anything else for you, please let me know.
Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good one.
You too.